Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of VetsPlusSports.com. This is your host, Terrell Cool Beans Davis, and I'm waiting for my co-host to check in, Mr. James Miller. But while we wait on that, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to those that are coming to watch the live. I thank you for giving us your undivided attention, and those that have watched the replay, thank you for doing the same. And for those that listen to our audio show, we have our top cities like Boardman, Oregon, San Jose, California, Ashburn, Virginia, Grinzek Weiland, Germany, Falkenstein, Germany, Los Angeles, California, and this time Washington, D.C. Thank y'all for listening. Now, before what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting on my host, let's go ahead and get into the NBA games. They had a few today, and they got a few going on right now. The Warriors is beating the Timberwolves 36-15, and they're still in the second quarter. Sixers is down by 11, 55-66 from the Cavaliers, and that's at halftime. Another game at halftime, Celtics pull ahead above the Bulls at 61-54. Now, that's not your average. The Bulls is either playing real good or the Celtics are playing very bad. We have the Knicks down at halftime to the Pelicans 45-49. I would say the Knicks is doing bad. The Jazz are up on the Nets in the start, about mid-third quarter, 69-59. The Hawks are down to the Grizzlies, 95-70. Heat up on the Magic and send just at the start of the fourth quarter. Heat is up 107-96. Got a few finals in there for you. Lakers beat the Kings 103-99. In fact, that was the only final for today. Yesterday had some finals. Let's see. I passed it up. Yesterday's finals were the Hornets losing to the 76ers, 108-98. The Bucks lost to the Cavaliers 124-101. And the Heat dropped one to the Thunder 104-97. And as far as NBA news going on, I have nothing really going on as far as trades or anything like that's going on. Cavaliers are still leading the East. The Celtics is still trucking right behind them, back 2.5 games. And in third are my Knicks. And then in the Western Conference, you have the Thunder leading the charge, and the Grizzlies is right behind them at 3.5 games. And the Rockets are back 4 games. Now, today was the big games, big college bowl games going on. But before we go on that, and before we go on to the NBA, to the NFL, we are going to be looking at NHL standings. See if anything else was going on in the NHL. I know we have a few games going on right now. The Devils over the Penguins in the third period, 2-0. The Bruins over the Sabres. Well, they're tied with the Sabres in the third period, 1-1. And the Jets are beating the Wild 4-0. And it is the beginning of the third period. Got a few finals from today. This one was the Predators. All right, Nashville Predators beating the Kings 3-2 in overtime. And the other one was the Oilers beating the Sharks 3-2. And that also ended in overtime. And this one's not an overtime one. The Blackhawks dropped to the Flames 6-4. But the college games, we have the college bowl games going on today. And we have some interesting runs. Ohio State is up on Tennessee, 21-0. That is the second quarter. That is currently in the second quarter. Texas beat Clemson, 38-24. SMU, is losing to Penn State. Oh, and that is a final, 38-10. I picked SMU. Notre Dame beat Indiana, 27-17. And the final from yesterday, we have Florida. The Florida Gators beat Tulane, 33-8. Let me see if this is Ohio and Miami or this is Ohio State in the Cure Bowl. I believe this is Miami. Ohio beat Jack State 30-27. See how the college playoff picture is looking like. Oh, let me see. Navy has a bowl game. I just passed it up. That one's going to be on the 27th. Navy versus Oklahoma. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to have to watch that. Last game we got going currently today is Ohio State and Tennessee. And so far, Tennessee is down 21-0. We had some finals earlier in the week. We did talk about on the radio show, for those that may have missed it, we did talk about how West Virginia, after firing Neil Brown, actually showed that they actually had, I don't know, well, not to say skills, but they actually put up a fight in this bowl game. They lost 37-42, but it was down to the last minute. Garrett Green threw an interception right about at the Memphis 20-yard line, and they had about 30 seconds left in the game. It was a very interesting game. It was one that to me ended on a controversial play, because in the NFL, when the guy is sliding, the defensive back that picked it off ended up fumbling the ball, but they called it not a fumble since he was sliding, trying to give himself up. And before he made a slip, before his bottom even hit the turf, the guy comes up on the side and smacks the ball out of his hand. Now that, to me, is a fumble. You don't still get the players. I know they had the slide for giving themselves up. That was mainly for quarterbacks, so quarterbacks are always getting hurt. But he's not a quarterback. That rule should not apply, and they applied that rule. So it's to each its own, to where they thought that the interception should have stayed, but I think he fumbled it, and West Virginia recovered it. Now, as far as the NFL goes, today we only had one game that I seen. Nope, I'm sorry, I take that back. There was two. Kansas City beat Houston to work towards getting that number one seed locked down, one step closer. And the Steelers dropped another one to the Ravens. Now the Ravens take first in that division, 34-17. I was really looking forward to Steelers actually doing something this year, but It's not going to happen. Tomorrow's games, we got Giants, Falcons, Lions, Bears, Cardinals versus Panthers, Rams versus Jets, Eagles and Commanders, Browns and Bengals, Colts, Titans. And then later games would be the Vikings and the Seahawks, Patriots and Bills, Jaguars, Raiders, 49ers, Dolphins. And then the Sunday night game will be the Cowboys versus hosting the Buccaneers. And then Monday night, you have Packers and Saints. Not a lot going on this weekend. Next weekend will be our show. That's going to be our awards show. I really think my partner got caught up in that doggone Christmas traffic. I know he was out Christmas shopping, so yeah, he might not make it. But yeah, next week we will have our Wounded Warriors. We will have our Wounded Warrior Awards for WNBA, NBA. Now, WNBA and NBA goes back from when we started this season. We started this season right at our show started right at our first show was the NFL draft. So we start from there, and from there we had basketball playoffs were going on. So we did our men's choice. We had the women's NBA choice. We also have a choice for hockey, baseball, and now we're going to do football. Those are just the 5 awards we have right now. We didn't. Now we know we have Major League Soccer going on, but so far as of now, we have not covered soccer because neither I nor my co-host, played soccer. No, we played as kids, but soccer, kickball, and all that things. But we have not played organized for the school, so we have pretty much no idea. Until we get somebody that specializes in that, then we're not going to really touch that. The only reason why we do hockey is because James played a little hockey in junior high, and he understands it more than I do. I do not understand it, period. I know it's that when they fight, they're pretty much allowed to fight, and loser goes in the penalty box. That's about all I know. But next week will be our awards show, our first annual awards show for our Wounded Warrior. We will talk those 5 positions. Now, one thing I was not going to do is, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Since everything is going off the cuff, we're not going as scripted like we planned because I don't have my co-host. So I will put up the Buy Me a Coffee. I will talk about the Buy Me a Coffee and the reason I'm talking about the Buy Me a Coffee is because these funds can be helped to support the show next week. So if those are interested to donate and participate and help out the show so I can do these award shows, go ahead and click on the scan the barcode and be able to buy us a coffee and help us out and donate to the show. But also, like I said, we got the shows next week. I'm going to liven it up. And before I get off the show, we're going to do what we normally do at the end of the show, because I'm going to go ahead and end it because I don't think James will be here today. And so, but if you're ever in an event that you feel like you must harm yourself, call the quick number we always say, 988. It's the Veterans Crisis Hotline. And for those, it's also the number 1-800-273-8256. That is the Veteran Crisis Center. They will get you the help and support you need. If you dial the 988, afterwards hit 1, and the operator will direct you to where you need to go. I'm sorry, I said that number, last number was 52. It's 55. Sorry. 1-800-273-8255. And that is the Veterans Help Christ Center. Those watch out for your battle buddies, your fellow battle buddies, because some of us have too much pride to admit that we need help, and we let things go too far. So if you see your battle buddy acting kind of strange or doing strange behavior, talk to him. And if you can't get in touch with him, call the number for him. Help him call that number. Get him some help. Y'all enjoy y'all's evening. Y'all stay safe. And if you do some Christmas shopping, take care and try not to get in them crowds. I mean, like it's hard trying to get stuff today. These last few days before Christmas, yeah, it's hard. But stay safe.